All right, let's get into these Russian misinformation indictments that came down. I'm looking through the indictment. It's about 32, 33 pages. It begins with RT, formerly known as Russian Today, is a state-controlled media outlet funded and directed by the government of Russia. After Russia invaded Ukraine in February 2022, RT was sanctioned, dropped by distributors, and ultimately forced to cease formal operations in the United States, Canada, the UK, and European Union. In response, RT created, in other words of its editor-in-chief, an entire empire of covert projects designed to shape public opinion in Western audiences. One of RT's covert projects, as described herein, is the funding and direction of a Tennessee-based online content creation company known as U.S. Company One. That company is Tenant Communications, based out of Tennessee. The company is run by two women, Elena and Katya. It is Konstantin Kalashnikov and Elena Offensiva. I don't know. I'm bad. I'm sorry. I mangled it. But anyway, it's known as Katya and Lena. That is what they go by in this indictment, and I guess in person. They have deployed nearly $10 million, laundering through a network of foreign shell companies to covertly fund and direct U.S. companies and shell companies with content creation supporting their missions. Their missions directly from Russia, from Vladimir Putin, were to, number one, defend the attack and feed misinformation for the attack and invasion of Ukraine, to assure Donald Trump gets back into office, and to work with as many people in power positions to make that happen, such as Mr. Elon Musk and Twitter. Now, if you remember correctly, when Elon was attempting to buy Twitter in the beginning, he was moving, he was talking, he was doing all that other stuff, and he pulled back. Something about him not wanting to put too much of his own money into it. And then all of a sudden, out of nowhere, it was full on. It was a go again. It has recently come out that a lot of that money for him to buy Twitter was actually supplied by Russian oligarchs with direct ties to the Russian government. That has come out within the last month. It's been quiet. It hasn't been all over the news. I don't know why. But if you follow the blue dots, connect the dots through this, just the Twitter aspect of this. And again, there is unnamed co-conspirators, unnamed companies all over this indictment. And there's been content creators and stuff like that that are named, that got paid anywhere between $1 million and $5 million, $100,000 a day, all sorts of craziness that is specified throughout this indictment. I will have a more in-detailed video coming out soon. Maybe I'll break it down and read the whole damn thing. But anyway, when you have Elon Musk taking over Twitter under the guise of lifting the restrictions of freedom of speech, he actually tightened the restrictions of freedom of speech. The only accounts that do not have the fact check burden to them are his accounts and accounts that are feeding Russian disinformation. So that's just a coincidence, I'm sure. He's not named. Twitter's named in here as where these videos are published. Part of this is Katya and Lena, the defendants, have deployed more than $10 million laundered through a network of foreign shell companies to covertly fund U.S. publishing English language videos on multiple social media channels, including TikTok, Instagram, X, and YouTube. It goes into detail about all them. Now, these shell companies are placed throughout the world, and it's interesting the countries that these shell companies are housed. We've got the United States. We also have a shell company in the Czech Republic, and we have another one in Hungary, Viktor Orban's Hungary. Now, many of these areas with the shell companies are also tied into other things that are going on with Donald John Trump, with his campaign, with trouble he's in. For instance, Viktor Orban making a couple of different trips out to Mar-a-Lago at very interesting times in Donald Trump's legal issues. One being right before $115 million was due for the E. Jean Carroll, and he couldn't come up with it, and there was all those problems. And then Viktor Orban, 2 days earlier from that due date of that bond, came to Mar-a-Lago. Then all of a sudden he was able to pay it. It's just coincidence. Draw your own conclusions to it, but when you look through all this stuff, it makes perfect sense. Now, this goes into very distinct detail of payments going from the RT company, mother company. There is a fake name, Edward Gregorian. That is a fictitious name, and that is supposed to be the boss that is RT, centered out of Russia. He pays one company, which pays another company, which pays content creators anywhere between $1 million and $10 million for their postings. They have contracts. They have scouts that went out and looked for specific types of content creators, then reported them up to Lena and Katya, and they got paid $8,000 a month just for finding these content creators. 3 of the content creators were already charged in this indictment. It's Benny Johnson, Tim Pool, and Dave Rubin, who actually also works for the Daily Wire. There are lines in this thing, there are connections in this thing that go all the way from these content creators being reposted more than anywhere else through Elon Musk's personal accounts in Twitter, and those main accounts with the most followers without the fact-checking option through Twitter. And then the Twitter accounts go directly to Fox Television, Rupert Murdoch, Sinclair Media, which puts them all out all over the world. This is a very intricate network. These indictments that have already been handed down to a handful of people, there is a ton of unindicted co-conspirators and companies named in this. There's a Viewpoint Productions, which is a production company specifically created for this project by RT, Russian Today corporation in Russia, that specifically produces misinformation videos to get to these content creators to be shared all over the world. This is a very intricate plot. This is something that isn't going away, and it is going to open up cans of worms, one right after another. And they have already started their argument talking points that, oh, here comes the Dems with another Russia, Russia, Russia. Bottom line is Russia is interfering with the 2024 election, and this has been found with Garland, Merrick Garland. People say he's not doing anything. People say he's dragging his feet on all this other stuff. This is the stuff that he's been doing. Have faith, justice will be served. Have faith that this information, we have some of the best investigators in the world with the most technologically advanced ways to investigate stuff and to get information. This is all coming out, and this is going to go all the way down the line. There will be more indictments coming out of this. There will be arrests. There will be prosecutions. This is major, and this is worldwide, and this is direct proof. Once again, Russia is interfering in our election, which means anybody who gives a about this country moving forward, anybody who wants to make sure democracy continues the way it should be, cannot let this work. And people who are questioning some of the information, or if the information raises an eyebrow, do some research on it. And don't just research in the Fox News world, the Rupert Murdoch world, or the Twitterverse, because they're all working together. This indictment shows it. So stay diligent, stay educated, and be kind. We are all in this together, and we do want democracy to succeed, prevail, and continue, because that is putting America first. And we need to all get on that page. I'm looking at you, Red Hats. God bless.